Hello, welcome back. I miss you. Did you miss me? Please forgive my voice. Um, I had those are one of my side effects from my stroke, but I just wanted to get on here so I can stay in the loop and keep you in the loop on the purpose of closure. I'm gonna try and wait for a few people come in, but until then, I'll start with a little bit now and then what's going on with me. As you could tell, my voice is very raspy. Excuse me. And it's very hard for me to swallow. I decided to use the audio because I wasn't comfortable with the video yet. I still have a little numbness on the left side of my face with a little droop, but I'm still cute. Just not comfortable with video right now, if you know what I mean. You're more than welcome to comment, subscribe, like, and share. That will help for our channel to grow. You ever experience when you get ready to do something and go full force and a distraction or something is always happening, like a blockage? Well, that's what happened in me that caused a stroke. I did a little bit of research, and I'm going to be very open and honest and very candid. I do smoke cigarettes, and that was the first thing that people said, oh, because you smoke. Well, it's quite a few things that cause it. And I'm going to update you on what I've been doing to heal and improve myself. It has been a little challenging because I am responsible for both of my parents, but thank God for resources and help. Definitely been blessed with that. Would not be able to do it. Well, the day I had my stroke, I was in an Uber with my mom. And that day, I don't know what it was. When we got in the Uber, she fell on the ground. Oh my God. Got her up and didn't see anything was wrong. But I put her in the car because I had to go to the doctor's office to drop off some documents, medical documents for her. Because I've been working on trying to get her a PCS, personal care service. And on the way back, it was a very nice day. And we were right in the back, and I started feeling a little hot and rolled the window down. All of a sudden, I felt something just like shot up in my nostrils. It started stinking. And when we got home, I knew I wasn't feeling well, but when I got out the car, I couldn't walk. Could you imagine that? Can't walk. I'm steady trying to just get in the house so I can sit down. The Uber driver had to help my mom get out the car. And he brought her in the house. And I was just in shock. I mean, total shock. I could not walk. I was totally discollaborated. I had no idea what was going on with me. I wanted to go to the hospital, but it was just mom and I. And the first thing came to my mind was, there's something seriously wrong with me. And they admit me to the hospital. Who will take care of my mother? My father was already in the hospital because he was in respite. The purpose of him going to respite was I was trying to get a break so I can get more done. Because mama can walk and get around. Dad cannot walk and get around. He's in a wheelchair. So I ended up calling my neighbor, and she said, I'll be right there. I was feeling so strange. I couldn't wait. I did end up calling the ambulance, and I described to them what was going on with me. And they said it sounded like it was a stroke. I was thinking, just maybe it was allergy because the pollen was so high. They said, no, Miss Brand, you need to go to the hospital. Moving forward, when I got there, of course, they start checking the blood pressure and sticking these things on my chest and everything. And I'm like, it really is not that serious. I need to get home because I need to take care of my mother. But thank God my neighbor and my daughter, because I have an oldest daughter here, had ended up helping out with my mom. Even after they told me they believe I had a stroke and gave me the CAT scan and all, put me in under these scans and stuff, I was like, I gotta go home. Reason why I'm giving you this detailed story is because you can't take care of nobody else unless you take care of yourself. And I did have some signs in my body, but I didn't ignore them. I was just like, oh my God, if I go to the hospital and they admit me, who's going to take care of my parents? Well, it got to a point where the question was, who going to take care of me? Moving forward on my update, I did get discharged, but less than 48 hours, I had to go back to the hospital. I had another one. I didn't give myself a chance or time to actually heal. And I was still trying to walk. I was so mentally and emotionally distraught. Usually I'm the strong one, able to take care of everything and everyone. And here I was helpless. They gave me some assistance with the physical therapy. They had a lady to come bathe me once a week because I couldn't stand in the shower. And I had some specialist appointments where I had some testing. This was so weird. It was a vascular specialist. I had to go to Duke, which is in Durham, to have this done, which is the best hospital in our area here. They slightly sedate me, and on my right arm, they open up to get into my artery and took a wire and slid it all the way up my arm into the back of my brain. Now, I was still awake, but I didn't really feel anything. I could feel the wire going up my arm, but I didn't feel any pain. It was weird. Didn't take that long. And then the doctor told me after you have to, stay for an hour to recover, that my right side was doing good, that it was pumping enough blood to help with the left side of the brain. On the left side, my arteries and my veins were very, very small, and the blood was not flowing properly. I just want to share with y'all, whenever you feel something going on in your body, I don't care what you got going on, go see about it. Go see what's going on with your body. Because I was having all different kinds of pain in my head. Um, I would doze off and sleep at a drop of a hat. And I just I didn't know what was going on, but I was afraid. I was afraid. And I should have been more afraid for myself than just my parents. Because when I went to the hospital, I was actually trying to check myself out. My second oldest daughter in Dallas had to really reason with me because mom has dementia. Dad is in the wheelchair, has to go to dialysis 3 times a week. I mean, it was a very big responsibility. And here I am, can't even walk. But as I said before, thank God for the resources. After I got to the hospital, excuse me, I think I was acting like a little baby because I'm claustrophobic. I don't like getting in no tunnels and no scans and all that. And I just really didn't understand the process because I don't like medicine and I don't like hospitals. I feel like if I exercise and I eat right, I'll be okay. But I wasn't. I wasn't okay. My parents are 87 and 88 years old. They totally depend on me. And at first, I felt like I was failing them because I wasn't able to really be there for them because I wasn't there for myself. I didn't even know what was going on with me. So what I did, I start taking my meds properly because I am diabetic, have high blood pressure, and cholesterol, and neuropathy. Never thought I'd get to this age and have all those situations going on in my body. I start eating more healthier because I start cheating. I start cheating because here I am cooking for 4 people. I personally really don't like meat. Don't like pork. I like turkey and chicken and fish. But I start compromising with the foods that I ate. And I knew better. I don't drink soda, flour, sugar, bread. Slowly but surely that start going out the window because my parents are old school and they like what they like. So I try to compromise a little bit, but I want to stay here on track of what's going on. I noticed a couple of people came in and listened for a minute and then they left out. Hopefully they'll be back or they'll catch this replay. But in the meanwhile, let's raise the vibe up just a little bit. All right. Now, one of the things that I had to really stop doing was staying away from negativity. Do not allow people, places, and things to stress you out. Change the things that you can and accept the things that you can't. And the main ones that would stress me out was family. But I'm over that for real. You got to protect your peace. You have to stay calm because your energy will go off into the people that are around you. Fear will paralyze you. Fear will have you acting kind of crazy, if you know what I mean. If you'd like to comment or you have any questions, please feel free. This is my first time doing this live. I had to teach myself. And when I did it, I was like, oh, this is pretty simple. But it took me forever to try to learn it. And I stay active. I keep my brain active. Reading, writing, not so much on the phone. I have very few people, I can't even count them on one hand that I even talk to or spend time on the phone with. Because you can feel people's energy even through the phone. I call them energy vampires. What does this have to do with the update of my stroke? Because I realized how stressed I was. I was really stressed. And my main thing was who gonna take care of my parents if I don't take care of myself first? My father ended up in ICU. He was bleeding from the stomach. He had to have a couple of blood transfusions. Please keep my father and my mom in prayer. He's doing fine now. He's doing better. But now he's not able to walk. At least before he was able to pivot and turn and transfer over. But pretty much, and I'm not claiming it because I believe in the healing power through the blood of Jesus. If Jesus raised Lazarus, he can raise my father. I just want him to get home so we can love on him, feed him healthy food, keep him nice and warm and calm, comfortable, as well as my mother. She's much better now because she has help. She has a medical team now that comes to the house, and the women are awesome. One comes to 7:30 to 10:30 in the morning. One comes from like 9 to 2. And because she's a little bit, my thing with her, to be honest with you, it's easier for me to take care of my father than it is my mother because she'd be running away. What I mean by running away, she'll just leave out and be gone, disappear. The neighbors be calling me, Miss Cassandra, your mother down here. And they be walking her back home. This just happened a couple of days ago. I was in the office doing some paperwork and reading, and I noticed that I didn't hear anything in the house. So I went and I think I went in the kitchen. Oh, I was going to the bathroom. And right before I opened the door to close it, to use it, the phone rang. No, I'm lying. It wasn't a phone that rang. It was a hard knock at the door. And I wasn't expecting that because we don't have company. We don't do drive-bys. And I'm like, who is it? And the neighbor said her name and said, your mother's out here. And my mother do not think there's anything wrong with her doing that. She really feel like she can just go out and walk around and everything's going to be okay. One thing, she's not familiar with the area. Number two, sometimes people would take advantage of the elderly people. So I'm very protected over her. And I know she likes to walk, but I'm not able to walk. Thank God her aides, they'll sit outside with her or take her for a walk now and then to get the little antsiness out of her. But her main thing is she just wants some money. She want money, 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 money. Reason why I say it's hard to take care of her because hers is more mental than physical. Dad, you give him something to eat, a remote, television, he's happy. He's happy. He's cool because he's going to go to sleep right after he eat and watch his favorite episode of Family Feud with Steve Harvey. With my stroke, I have vision problems. I see double. I really don't see clearly. I have a hard time swallowing, and the medication effects that I have with the I have neuropathy. So with neuropathy, it's a numbness, very, very, very in the feet, the hands, and the arms. And with the Plavix, which is a blood thinner, I be so cold. It's like I be in a I feel like I'm in a freezer, you know, the restaurant freezer. I be so cold. Like today, I put a sweatsuit on. It was like right now it's 84 degrees, but I was so cold. My mom and my neighbor was laughing at me. I was like, I'm warm. 'Cause it was making my bones ache as well. My memory, I would forget what I was about to say, or sometimes don't complete a sentence. And these are symptoms really that I was dealing with prior to this stroke because I didn't share with you in 19 in the 90s, the late 90s and like around about 2000, I was having multiple strokes and didn't even realize it. I was walking around with my left arm half up, couldn't put it down, couldn't raise it up, couldn't comb the middle of my head for months and didn't even realize that I was having multiple strokes. Didn't realize it. Now, I believe if I would have took had some therapy, physical therapy, and went to a neurologist as it was referred for me. I was living in Dallas, Texas during the time. Mesquite Hospital was no longer there, but I'll never forget the day when the doctor shared with me, and he said I should go see a neurologist and take some meds. But honey, as long as you think you're young and you can walk and get to A to B, just being plain no ignorant. I'm not gonna lie about it. Because I never really was raised with like some people feel like every time they get a little hurt in their head, they gotta take Tylenol, aspirin. I just never been that kind of person. I believe in the power of prayer. And I know it works because I wouldn't be here speaking with you. I would share some stories. I should have been dead a long time ago. But I know God has a purpose in my life. And one of the purposes to care for my parents. That's one of my assignments. I love them so much. To be honest with you, I don't know why it was so hard for me to get on here and do this. Time is going by so fast. I've already been here on 26 minutes. And I want to at least do 30. Then I'm going to come back again and continue because I like interaction. So when you come in, make a comment or do something so I know that I know that you're in here. But like ask questions, interaction. Because I'm trying to tell 50 stories at one time. But they all surround my family and what's going on. It's so much. Like now, Dad is in the hospital. His discharge has been canceled at least 4 times. Hemoglobin was 7, or the bleeding in the intestines. Oh, well, Miss Brand, we can't reach the mid intestines because it's not the top or the bottom, it's the middle intestine. And that's why I know that God answered prayers. I started Googling and looking and researching, foods to eat and things to do to help raise the hemoglobin or the bleeding for the intestines. And this may sound a little gross, but old blood turns black or brown. So finally, he had a good bowel movement, but it was black. I was like, as long as it's out of him. They say his iron extremely low. I said, well, can you give him some Geritol? His teeth was missing because my mother, who has dementia, she accidentally threw his dentures away. And so there'd be a lot going on. So I was like, well, can you grind his food up? And they mean, do you mean parade? If I'm saying it right, his food. And guess what? They start giving him liquid iron through the IV and start parading his food. And they say, oh, he set up for 4 hours today. I don't want no kudos, but something, it's just the simple things, the basic things. What were you doing before? Because I know he tired of being poked and plugged and poked. Because when I got out of the hospital, I was blue because I'm very, very fair-skinned. And my veins was blue and purple. And I was so tired. You don't get no rest in the hospital, And my mom, she gets up like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and just walk up and down the hallway with her boots on and her coat, because she's originally from upstate New York, and her skull cap. And she'll just walk back and forth in front of my bedroom door. I really wasn't getting any sleep. Did everything to try to please. If I say that the water is clear, she'll say it's purple. If I say it's cold, she'll say it's boiling hot. But she'd be nice to everybody else, but she'd be so mean to me. At first, it really used to hurt my feelings because in my younger age, we had a beautiful relationship. My mother was my best friend. Don't she treat me like I'm her enemy? All I'm saying, don't let people, places, and things stress you out. If you don't understand something, research it, ask questions. If you need some help, don't be too proud to ask. Ask for help. Find you some help. I know it's hard to trust people, but there are some very good resources out there. I thank God my father's a veteran. So I feel more safe with, his medical team. I had to learn about my mother's because it's basically like through the state. And I really never dealt with the state or anything. If you have any comments or questions, please do that below, and I will read them and respond to them. I hope that this live has brought you some type of value or enlightenment. If you may be dealing with something like this, or or you know someone that's dealing with this, share this video with them. There's a lot of resources through VA, and there's a lot of resources through the state. If you have an elderly parent, make sure that they either do Medicaid, because they should have Medicare, and then a supplement. But they can basically have all three. I knew nothing about insurance. I knew nothing about Medicare, Medicaid. I learned. My parents re-raised me all over again to raise them. But there's a lot of resources where you don't have to come out of pocket all the time. But you just have to be accountable for every dime that you get. Remember, it's very expensive to eat healthy or grow you a garden. And you can just go out there and pick your fruit, your veggies up off the vine and come in and wash them off and cook them. Because we definitely going to have to go back to the basics. I don't care how old you are. Tenderoni, macaroni, senior citizen, veteran. We all going back to the basics. Because this world is becoming more and more challenging. That's why God says to learn how to live in the world and not of the world. If you try to live of the world, not only you'll lose your mind, but you'll lose your soul. Learn to love unconditionally. Learn to forgive people that have hurt you, harm you, disrespect you. Learn to become a better version of yourself. Because anger plus anger equals anger. Hate plus hate equals hate. But true love conquers all. So if you have unconditional love, hate, and anger, true love is going to conquer it. Just can't do it in the flesh. You got to do it through prayer. And oh God, I want to start preaching. But I cannot say anything or take any credit for anything without giving God the credit for bringing me through and giving me the strength. I mean, I've been traumatized. Seriously. I mean, things like give my father an enema to the point where my mother is urinating in a trash can and wrapping up the wet ones and putting them in the closet and hiding them behind the chair underneath the bed. You know, to me, that's traumatizing, especially coming from your parents, unless you are licensed to do that. But even being licensed doing that, it's very challenging when it's your own parents. Well, I'm going to come back on in maybe a couple of hours. It's time to get mom ready for bed. And then I'm going to get myself situated, come back on here. And hopefully if we have some new guests, please subscribe, like, and share. Tell someone this is going to be a new episode. I finally learned how to just incorporate mom, dad, and I in the purpose of closure. It wasn't how it started off to be. But this is where we are now. Okay. We'll talk later. Ciao.